I always sound.
My neighbors are saddle when you waking up the flowers. Bring the sunshine through as the ladies come to you. They have hot topics and interesting guests, making your Monday mornings the very best. It's Monday morning talks, we got the sauce. It's Monday morning talks, we walk the walk. It's Monday morning talks, this is Cesar here speaking loud and clear. It's Monday morning talks with So, Michelle Lachey, and Miss J. It's Monday morning talks, y'all.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to Monday Morning Talks. I am your girl So, and I am here with my ladies, Michelle Lachey with a mouthful, and Miss J. And we
Hey,
are
y'all.
here also with our special co-host, the lovely Poppy Diablo. There you go.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
Hey,
ladies.
puppy.
Hey, how you doing?
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Mark.
Mark.
He right on it, boy.
Right. Hey, Mark. Bright early.
Bright and
Bright eyed and
early.
bushy tail.
You was waiting on us, boo.
I ain't
Right.
mad at it.
I
I'm
ain't
with
mad at
it.
it
So,
either.
this is Black History Month, and we are kicking it off this morning. And I want to hear about y'all weekends y'all had. How was y'all weekend? Who want to start first? Who had the greatest weekend of all time?
Michelle.
Shell's
Did
had the
I have the
greatest weekend
greatest
of all.
weekend of all? My weekend was really nice. Friday, what did I do? I just went to work and just hung out with some friends. Saturday, did some other stuff. I took my son to get his hair done, so that was really nice because I got to hang out with my old crew. And I got to see my little friend that I love so much. Hey, Morgan, that's my homie. But Saturday was a little emotional for me too. I ain't gonna even lie, but that's a whole nother story. It was a little emotional because one of my friends is pregnant. So,
Aw.
but yeah.
Oh,
So then,
that's a good thing,
huh?
right? That's
That's
good.
Oh no, it's a beautiful thing. I am so happy
Okay,
for her.
for sure.
Not only is she's
Congratulations,
pregnant, she's
friend.
engaged. They get married this year. It's
Oh,
so beautiful. I'm so
oh,
I'm
happy for
here for
her.
the
And I
love.
congratulations.
mean, like emotion. Yes, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her because this is like real love. I like good love. Not no we doing this for something. I mean, they really are building a family and a foundation. It's beautiful. But it's just emotional because when you see those things, you're very very happy for people, and then you get to thinking about other things, and it's like you know.
Stop
I was
putting
just missing
yourself.
my baby. I was like, I would have a 2 month old, so I was just in my feelings. But I'm good now.
the
So
life
Mm,
montage.
We got you, Shell.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
we understand,
Um,
baby.
but yeah, and then Sunday I had an amazing time at my friend's brunch. It was awesome. She had a brunch for her dad who passed away. His birthday was on the 24th of January, and we celebrated, honey. We had us a good time, and yeah,
Happy
that's it.
birthday, Dad.
Happy
Birthday,
birthday,
Dad.
Dad.
Yes, yes.
All right, Miss J, what you do for the weekend?
Surprisingly, I did a whole bunch of nothing this weekend. Jaden and I won't say nothing, but I didn't have a whole lot going on this weekend. This was one of my actual chill weekends. My mom actually stayed the whole week with us this week, which I'm so happy about because
Yay.
normally she comes into town for like 2 or 3 days and back out to Chicago. So she stayed the whole week. She's actually still here. She's not leaving till tomorrow. So she just
Hey,
stayed the
Hey,
whole
mama.
entire week,
mom.
y'all.
What's good,
So yes,
ma?
we hung out with mom this weekend. We are in the process of transitioning fully to Georgia. So, it's been some moving
Oh,
parts. So we
Wait, she's
had to
coming to
go,
Georgia.
yes,
Mom's moving
because
to
she works
oh,
for
Georgia.
that's
Spelman. So mom works for Spelman. So she's in the process of fully transitioning.
Oh,
So
Come
we
on
went
home,
furniture
mama.
shopping. I know, right?
that's what's up.
she already
Georgia.
home. She just going to go
I
get
might
ready.
have to meet up with y'all.
Mama
Yes.
already home.
Come
Come on,
Mama
Poppy.
already home.
So we went
She's
furniture
going up
shopping
there.
yesterday, and that was a little exhausting because
Mhm.
a lot of stuff that we saw online was not in stock or it's on back order for a couple of months. And I got a little hangry. I had to go get me something to eat. And then my
Did
whole
you get
attitude was
Snickers?
fine after that. Yes, you are
Listen,
not yourself if you do not have a Snickers. If you are
do not underestimate furniture shopping.
Right?
For real.
Tedious.
It's a whole task within itself, and especially if you see something that you want online and you're expecting to go to the store and see it, and then they're not having it, or it's on back order, or it's discontinued, or whatever the case may be. I mean, we ran into that about 4 different times. So we eventually found Jaden in bed, needless to say. Mom and I are still trying to figure out our furniture situations, but for the most part, we were at least 1 out of 3 is not bad. We was successful somewhat. So yeah, that was pretty much my weekend. Who is playing my voice, Shell?
Huh?
You say what? What'd you say?
Sharing the video. Shell's trying to share the video. All I heard was my
and it's in his lap.
I was like, who is that? But yeah, that was my weekend. Poppy, how was your weekend? Before we go to substance.
My weekend was quiet for the most part. I had the opportunity to meet one of my partner's partners. We sat in, did some art together, so that was beautiful. Had some fun.
Nice.
What kind of art did y'all do?
We were just coloring mandalas. I do a lot of mandala work.
Yes.
I could probably share one real quick, since I still have it near me. This is one that I did in a artist collab room. Let me see if I can. There it is. So I don't know if y'all be able to see the detail in it, but
oh, I love
that's
the
pretty.
colors.
That's pretty.
One of the collab
I'm
rooms.
so attracted to colors.
Happy Black History Month.
Me too.
And like in the detail,
That's pretty. Put it up
Thank
more.
you, Vision. Happy Black History Month.
but
That's nice.
there's
I love those
metallic
colors.
inks. Can you see the metallic ink?
I can't
Yes.
see the metallic.
See, I do
Yeah.
those. I actually have an app with that, and I do those.
That
for,
like purple underneath the dark
it helps
purple.
relieve, it helps relieve like stress, and like
Yeah.
it's actually
Yes.
good for like mental. So like I love those things. The coloring, I have a lot. I have an app that I have that have those on there, and I just color off the.
Yep, me
iPad.
too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I do a lot of those when I like sometimes I'll go into artist collab room and I'll do those in like poetry and art collaborator space, or photographer and poetry, or photographer and art collab spaces. So I do a lot of those when I can. Outside of that, I just do what I do, make music, and just be a whole ass dude. So
So you had a really peaceful mental rest. What is it called? Mental resting weekend.
yeah, I definitely had a little bit of a refresh this weekend, so it was cool. Prepping to get ready
That's good.
to get out to Georgia because my partner is there, and I'm supposed to be helping her
So when are you coming?
set up. That's the part that I'm working on. Gotta get the money.
You
right.
helping Taylor?
What'd you say,
Is
hon?
that who you talking about? Taylor
Oh
Tales.
no, but I do hope to see her when I get there.
Michelle,
My
Chels,
partner,
you come down a
Michelle.
little bit. I can't see your face, Chels.
Oh, hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's
Hold
like
on.
this is just the top. You're like really tall. Like come down a little more.
He said down a little.
Something like that. There you go. It was like this part.
She's not shrinking herself to fit in spaces.
Well, you better write. You
Spaces
better
that
expand
expand and make her fit in them.
Come on. Tell us, sis. I am not a
expand the
shrinker.
space or something because we want to see your beautiful eyes.
Yes.
But you got some nice lips, but we like to see your eyes too.
And I love that color. I love that color. Did you refresh that?
Who? Shells?
Your purple shells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn the light off. See, so
no.
you messing with me. Y'all know I ain't drunk my coffee properly yet.
I didn't
Hold
say
on.
bring your face down.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend was productive for the maybe
Productive.
productive in a
I
way.
got something for you.
So my where we
Productivo.
going? A visionary. It's a nice word, Miss J. We would not shrink to fit into space.
That's
That
right.
part.
Mm-hmm.
That part,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Vision.
my nephew, y'all. CJ. Hey, Buddha. My nephew. I think. I hope it is. If it's not, then it might not be. Who knows? Whatever. I know my nephew got
Right, you don't know.
Vision Nori too. So maybe
This
I
ain't
don't know
gonna
if it's
work.
the LLC at the end of whatever. Hey, Vision. If you ain't my nephew, you could be. I hope you. If you're a guy. Anyway, my weekend. Friday I worked. I remember that. 'Cause, yeah, I worked Friday, and then we had a re-rehearsal, a virtual re-rehearsal for the movie, but I
Jody.
couldn't do it.
Jordy and
Jody
Jody.
and Jordy, yeah, Jordy and Jordy. What is it? Joey and Jordy. I don't even know the name of my own movie. Um, so yeah, but we supposed to. I told them it wasn't a good day for me because I had to work that evening, and I was supposed to like try to sneak on and get in and read. Okay, yeah, that is my nephew. He said, "Hey, Auntie." Okay, all right. I knew it was you. I knew it
Hey, nephew.
What's up, nephew?
Hi, nephew.
was you.
Is this the
Now
singing
you all our
nephew?
nephews. Now once you were part of one, you were part of all of us after a while.
Right.
Is this
But
our singing nephew?
no, this is our photographer and videographer nephew.
Okay.
And
Talented nephews.
so yeah, all throughout the whole we got some people in our family, y'all. Um but yeah, so anyway, so I couldn't get on the rehearsal. By the time I jumped on and told them, go ahead, read. I'll be back. But then I had to go over my students. They was graduating, so I had to go over their grades and what they was missing and blah blah blah. So by the time I was able to jump on this virtual re-rehearsal, it was basically over. So I kind of missed that. So then Saturday, I went to look for houses, and then we had the podcast. Because I don't know if anyone of you two was watching the podcast. But I had
I didn't get a chance to watch this weekend.
no, that's fine. It was cool though.
I
Fast is
didn't.
back. Fast is back, so that
I
was cool.
saw
He
it and I was about to. And
then
then
just changed your mind. It's cool.
God had a whole lot going on Saturday. I did, friend.
I
And then
know.
I
I
had a
know.
headache.
I know. I heard your
My
weekend, so
energy
it's
was
cool.
all off. And then
It was
somebody
all cool.
reshaped that on Sunday.
Gotta do
Whip me
that
back
right.
into shape.
Hello.
We was good.
I ain't even mad at you.
We
Need
actually
somebody
gonna
blow the dust
be a
off of
whole, it's
them.
gonna be a whole nother vibe with this time with the Unfiltered podcast. We've been talking about doing it a different way and everything. So if y'all keep watching, y'all gonna see a different vibe. Then I went and I think I looked at a couple more houses. And then let me tell y'all, like somebody tried to scam me. So I was on Marketplace. You know, they usually have like the houses on Marketplace or whatever, right? So I'm talking to this guy like via text, and like I was supposed to go look at this house, right? And so he was like, okay, but call me when you text me when you get there, and I'm sending you the code for the box, right? So I'm like, okay, because when I inquired about it, one guy said, hey, here's the number, you got to call the owner. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is the owner of the house. So that because the guy told me to call the owner. So we was texting or whatever. And then so I go to the house and it's like not shovel, not nothing. And so did I see on the door it was like American Homes for Rent or whatever. And it was like talking about Friday. It was like we do not advertise on Craigslist. We feel it, but I didn't find him on Craigslist. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I texted him, I was like, I'm here. And he's like, no, before I saw American Homes, I told him I was here. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you the code. And he's like, just look around the outside first. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just give me the code? So I text him, I said, hey, are you with American Homes? He's like, yes, you don't have anything to worry about. I'm like, uh-oh, red flags. They wouldn't just say you ain't got nothing to worry about. Why would you even say that? So I go back in the car and I call American Homes. And she asked me, where did I find it at? And I was like, on Facebook Marketplace. She was like, no, that's fraud. She was like, we don't advertise on Marketplace or on Craigslist. She was like, so I had to give her all the information. And so then I asked him, I was like, oh, so I left. And I told him, I said, oh, I didn't get your name. And so he texts back like, "You didn't even let me know if you got the key or not, and you're gonna ask me for my name? Are you serious?" And then he say, "It just seems to me that you are not interested." I said, "No, it seems to me that you're fried because anybody who works for American Homes doesn't have a problem with giving me their name." And so he
Exactly.
text back.
That should have been
Yeah,
one of the first things they gave you.
trying to
Right.
make me send him money for stop. Trying to make me send him money for cash or whatever, and
Down
then
payment.
I would never get the house.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that
Mhm.
was crazy. And then Sunday we had our real rehearsal, our actual rehearsal for the movie. And of course, I had somebody to play one of the role, and they decided to go out and not show up. So that kind of I had to rehearse, act like about three characters in the movie because these people just not getting it right. So now I had to recast again. So hopefully this time I have a solid cast, and we can go ahead and shoot. Not this Sunday coming up to the Super Bowl Sunday, but the following Sunday coming up. I'm praying that we can just go ahead and just get this movie shot so we can just get it out there. So, and then Sunday I went to go look at a couple more houses, but I didn't get to see them because apparently it wasn't ready. But it was on app. It was on the rent lease and self tour, but people were still living there. So that was a flop. And then I visited my kid's grandma, and then I came home.
It's
So
important to
definitely
be
unproductive.
careful
Huh?
with those. It's important to be careful with those. I got scammed very similarly
Mm,
through Craigslist, and
mm.
I'm certain that a lot of people within earshot of this message will understand um, when they advertise, oh, well, we're missionaries and we're in a different country and, we're doing,
Oh yeah.
XYZ kind
They
of
over
work.
in Sri Lanka
Mm-hmm,
scamming us.
mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
For
yeah,
real.
Yeah, I get those.
they ask you to send in a copy of your driver's license, send in a deposit or whatever. They send you a, a copy, what looks like a photocopied lease,
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
it looks legitimate. It looks legitimate, but
Yeah.
definitely, like So was saying, check your sources. If you see that, sign on the front lawn, that house is being, shown by a different company. Follow up,
Mm-hmm.
call. Definitely make sure to cover your bases because they people are out here and they trying to steal your information.
I got
Yeah, because
scammed like that
I
with a
kept
job.
Hmm.
With a
I
job
had
I
Same.
did.
found, they
It was
had
this
did me
one
like
guy
that.
I knew he was scammed because I had when I texted him about a house, and he was just like I was asking him something I forgot, but he just kept mentioning that I had to pay my security deposit in cash. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why is that? Why is that keeping mentioning that I got to pay my security deposit in cash? And so then
Mm-hmm.
that's when I stopped talking to him because I'm like, yeah, you fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why is that the most important thing or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, these people are crazy. Ned Frederick says, speaking of scam, my husband wanted to get a car off Craigslist, but the person told him he had to spend $50 to view the car because people was wasting his time. I knew it was
Mm-mm.
scam media because of how fast he responded. Plus, he responded via text versus an email like normally. You have to pay a deposit to view a car. Like that's really
That,
Yeah,
cheap.
that's crazy. Send me pictures, or you should
that
have
Right.
pictures listed on the posting.
pics or it
You gotta
didn't happen.
pay a deposit to view a car. That's funny. But
Shoot.
Do
And
you
go
even
a
got the
step
car?
further. Go a step further. Say, send me a video.
Right
exactly.
there, you go.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, good
Write
to
your
see
name on a piece of paper and sit in the car and hold that piece of paper and show it to me.
you.
I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
We taking all
Right.
safety precautions around here.
That we only taking
Hi,
that
my
in public.
angel. That's my angel, y'all. I just want to let
Hi,
y'all
my
know that.
angel.
Hi, my
Oh,
angel. Look,
What's
that's
that?
all our angels.
that's right.
We all family over here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Annette
they
is
tried to
truly an
scam me when I was
angel.
trying to get a job. I don't remember how I found it. I want to say it was like on Hot Jobs or something like that. I don't remember, but
Mm.
I sent them all
I
my
just,
information. Like the onboarding process, regular filling
mhm.
out paperwork. They tried to get some money out my account, but baby, I was broke, so you ain't getting that. Joke was on you, Buster.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then he
But
asked to meet him at the police station. Crickets after that. Yeah, they
I
don't
bet
want to
it
hear nothing about
was.
no popo.
Exactly. They don't want to meet at no police station because they
Mm.
know they trying to scam people and they wrong for that. But yeah, you just got to be careful. Do your research. I'm glad you thought enough or had enough sense to reach out to the leasing department or management, property management, and say, hey, this is what's going on. Because I had the same thing happen too with a house. So
Yeah, and I'm just glad they had it up there because I probably wouldn't have thought about it if they didn't have that scam thingy up there until like. But then when it took them a while to give me the code, I said, why is it taking so long to give me the code? So that was another thing. I'm like, why would you want me to view the house around the outside of the house before you give me the code?
right.
When there's snow all around the house.
Yeah, biggest red flag.
Right. So that's when if the American sign was a home sign wasn't up there, I still would have figured it was fraud at that point. And my husband called me his pit bull.
Yeah, I don't trust nobody either. So.
Yeah,
I don't trust nobody.
Trying to find a place
There's
and
too
stuff,
many
and it's just like
scammers out here.
crazy.
That part, yeah.
I want to give a
Yes, I heard about that
big
too.
shout out to my. Can I give a big shout out before we move forward to my my nephew AJ Twan Dolo on social media? He just got accepted to college in Birmingham. Let me see. I forget the college name, but it's he got accepted to. He's doing his signing now. He plays football, and so he went for some college tours, and he finally picked his college that he's going to go to. And I don't remember the exact name of it, but I just want to say congratulations to him. Today is his sign, and he he's going to be a little college kid, and I'm just really proud of him because I know like a lot of he struggled, went through a lot, and he made it through, and now he's gonna go to college. And kudos to you, I call him my son. He was always my son, but he stopped acting like my son. And so,
congratulations,
hey, Twan Dolo, and he got a single dropping. He also rapped, so his single is about to drop as well. So that's another thing for him. So congratulations on that also. So.
Did I hear collab? What? Oh,
what?
My bad. Go ahead.
So, all right. So let's move forward. And we're gonna go into. So this was Shell. Great idea. I really like this idea of what Shell came up with for the show today. So Shell, I'll let you elaborate on what's going on.
What we doing? So basically, so we just have some questions because we're, instead of just speaking about like, oh, what does it mean to be Black? Like, okay, anybody can say that, like, okay, what it means to be Black. This is what it is for me, or this is what has been my experience, growing up Black or growing up whatever. There's a show on Facebook where they get a group of people who are of a similar or common interest, and then they ask them statements, and people decide whether they agree or disagree, and then they give their opinions about it. So this is like similar to that. So we each came up with questions that we're going to ask, and then everyone's going to give their opinion about it. Try to keep it like within like a minute, and then just basically give me your opinions. And if anyone in the audience wants to chime in and they have an opinion about that, by all means, please put your comments down below. Even if you're watching this at the replay, we would still love to hear your comments on whatever it is that your answer is to this question, because each one teach one. Your experiences and my experience, and we all can never know what we can learn from someone else. Even living in similar skin colors, you know what I'm saying? We all experience things differently. So I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask the question. I'm just going to ask the question, and then we'll just go round and round in clockwise order. So I'm looking at it the way I'm looking at it. My clockwise order is So, Poppy, and then Miss J. Is that okay with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So question, then y'all go ahead and give your answer, and then I'll give mine at the end. Okay? Okay.
All right.
So first question, is racial inequality as present as it once was, or are the playing fields leveling? So.
Definitely not leveling, in my opinion. I believe it's just as much as it was, just in different forms. I believe people don't need to white mask on their faces anymore. And I believe that we still don't have that togetherness. We still not counted as humans, in my opinion, to people. So I honestly believe that it's it's the same, or probably even, I want to say worse because it's not like slavery thing. We're not segregated as far as going to school, but we're still segregated. It's still segregation. If I answered your question.
There are no wrong answers in this thing. That's the best thing about it. There's no such thing as a
My
wrong
answer was
answer.
wrong. No, my answer ain't wrong. No, I was kidding.
And however you feel that question is answered, then that's your answer. So, all right, Poppy.
I feel like there are some improvements that have been made when it comes to racial inequality, but I believe that a lot of it needs to be addressed internally first. As someone who's Aboriginal American, um, American Indian, Indigenous American, however you want to term it, we, having been the darker of the spectrum of those who are considered Native American in the country, this is something that I'm on both fronts with because if we're looking at skin tone, if we're just speaking about blackness in terms of melanation, then yes, I am there full on. You feel? But my thing is being recognized by the Indigenous American community, being recognized, as a native of these, Americas, is difficult because a lot of people, are paler. A lot of people, that have been classified as Native American are paler. So it's hard getting recognition in that sense, but it's also just as difficult navigating with melanation, trying to get these things done because of the inequalities. So there's some improvements, but a lot of it has to be resolved internally because not all people that are melanated are, of the same origin. So.
I agree with both Poppy and So. I feel like we have made progress, but there's still a lot more that has to be done. There's also some situations, or for example, the George Floyd thing. When he got killed, we came together as a whole entire nation. We supported the Black Lives Movement or Black Lives Matter movement. We were seeing a lot of more of people of other races on the forefront, making their voices be heard, speaking out for us, speaking out for equality. But now that that's over with, where you're posted, where's everybody now? Where
Mhm.
are all these movements? Um, I also think when it comes to equality here in America, a lot of the baby boomers who were the ones that were keeping the racism going and feeding it to their children and educating them or whatever, however they were doing it in their households, a lot of them are dying off. So now the Generation X and Z's and the millennials, we're coming together now. We're the leaders and we're changing the way that things are looking and are being perceived in this world. However, there's still a lot more of work that we have to do in order, like Soso said, for us to become equality or equal to other races. It's still a lot more work that has to be done. I still experience racism, sadly, on a regular basis. I'm still concerned about my son every day he lives out of my house because I don't know if he's going to return home. I worry about my brother. I mean, just Black people in general. It's not promised that we're always going to make it back home safely just because of who we are and the color of our skin. So, yes, I think it is different. Things have progressed, but however, I still feel like there's a lot more work that we have to do on the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And Annette says she feels they are same. So basically that's what everyone is saying. They feel like ain't nothing changed, right? So my opinion is I feel like things have changed. I feel like it's leveling a little bit. And I say this because although there is racism still, very much alive, and there's still some very racist people, I think the way that people are nowadays, it's a lot more I think a lot of more white people are just getting tired of it. The struggle and the power struggle. But that's just my opinion. I don't think that things are still fair. I still worry about my son. I still know that, even if the minority is the majority, we still don't have the power. I still
Right.
understand that, but I do feel like things are shifting and changing within the community. But one thing that I feel that will help elevate us even more to get more equality is if a lot more people stop dwelling in the victim mentality and use it as fuel instead of a resting place. And I think that will elevate us to another level of something. But folks got to stop just saying what people are doing to them and start doing for
Mhm.
themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So that's my opinion. Okay. Next question. Is knowing your ancestry important? If so, have you researched your ancestry? So.
No, my ancestry is important, but I'm not something I wonder. I'm like, okay, when we talk about ancestry, are we just talking about like people from our family, or are we talking about slaves from back then, like the people we know? Because I know like, and I always question this, like when like mediums and people in the spiritual world, they say talk to your ancestors, pray to your ancestors, and they say make a altar and put pictures of I guess people that passed of your ancestors on the altar. So when we talk about ancestors, how far back are we going? Are we just talking about the ancestors of people like grandparents, great grandparents? Are we talking about our ancestors are people who not related to us, like Rosa Parks or Harriet Tubman and all them? Are they our ancestors too? So I always have questions with that. But knowing my ancestors is definitely important. Um, I research people from African Americans all the time because I like to educate my children. So it's definitely an important part. But I just always question like, what do we consider as far as our ancestors? That was just always a question for me.
Okay. That's your answer.
That's my answer with the question.
Okay. Poppy.
To answer your question in 3 short words, yes,
Black.
yes, and yes.
Hell yes.
I
Look, okay, I just want to
absolutely.
interject real quick. Now I wrote these questions before we decided that you were going to be here. I swear I was like, well, shoot, I already know Poppy answer to this, so I already know ancestry is important to Poppy. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
but I
I
didn't
am
want
a
to answer for you.
I am a huge advocate of doing the genealogy and not just somebody taking a swab from 23andMe and Ancestry DNA test or whatever, but actually digging in and getting the stories, talking to your elders, learning those little tidbits of information that could be lost. Um, because there was a definite point in time where a lot of these things, a lot of these details about our ancestry, about our history, our personal histories were not available to us. And now we have the information, we have access to these things. And so definitely go learn, dig into your roots because there's a lot that was not told. For me, having grown up in the Black experience, I was, I grew up around my family, wearing the beaded necklaces, with the African pendants and whatnot, and did not realize that there was so much more to our family history until I started going through and doing family tree. I've been doing this work since I was 16,
Mm.
so digging into my family history has been, uber important for me, especially if I'm going to, raise my kids as, conscious, aware beings. They have to know exactly where it is that they came from, what their rootstock is. So that's important to me.
Okay.
For me, it definitely is important to trace your lineage and know where you came from. So to kind of answer your question, for me, my ancestors go back to day one. Um, it's bigger than, or it's further than 2 or 3 generations removed, because I know of those generations to a certain extent. I know some of their
Right.
stories. There's a lot that I didn't even know about my grandmother and great grandmother. I had my grandmother until she was 82 and my great grandmother until she was 103. So with all of that, hearing their stories, there were still stories that I was figuring out or hearing about them after they passed. My sister actually did do the ancestry test. She started creating a family tree. I had another family member on my dad's side who created a family tree. So we have the tracing, but that's only one side of me that I know. I still don't really know all of my mom's side of the family. So that's important for me to figure that out, because if you think about it, my mom is the oldest person or oldest family member that I have. Like, it's her generation, then it's me right after. So how am I going to teach my son to carry on our lineage with his children and teach them and tell them about who we are if I'm not knowing who we are and if I can't tell him? So yes, it is very important for me to figure that out. I'm also very big on tracing, because I just found out within the last couple of years, my mom's maiden name is Parsons. Found out that the slaves who used to own my grandfather's grandparents, I'm assuming, they actually have a pharmacy, a convenience store, and some other stuff right here in Georgia, in Duluth, Georgia.
Mm.
My great grandfather, him and his mother lived in Noonan. I used to live in Noonan. Like, and I'm finding all of this out. My great great grandmother owned land at the Braves former stadium. So to find out all of this information and not even know all my family history was here like that, and then finding out my dad's side of the family, there you go. His family, they have a whole entire cemetery an hour away from where I live. So yes, it's important for you to know these things. And one thing
Yeah.
my dad always told us, why it was so important to go to family reunions, because you get to meet your family members who live all across the nation, so you don't end up dating them. Because we, as slaves, as Black people, we were dispersed throughout the nation, throughout the world. Forget just the nation. So, you know, sometimes you won't know who this person is until you cross lines with them and then find out you done fell in love with your cousin 3 times removed. Like, nobody wants to be put in that position, but this is why it is important to know where you have come from and who your ancestors were.
See, that's
We
why
gotta
I moved out.
we gotta bring
That's
people
why
in
I
our
moved out of my home state.
we gotta bring, I told you I had a family member in my inbox. I had to tell 2 times, and I had to tell them we were cousins. You know, because my family's so big. We got like 1 million people on my mom's side of my family, and my grandma's side. It's like 1 million of us, all scattered all across the world, and then we all got different last names because of marriage and everything else. So it's scary days, because I don't want to date my cousin.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
It is.
I'm like, okay.
Annette says, wow, it isn't for me because of my family structure. Unfortunately, my entire family is distant. However, I found my father at 46 by doing ancestry tests. I remember that. That was so beautiful. And when I seen Annette daddy, I said, oh, that's her daddy. That's her daddy. You are the father. Good point, ladies. Thank you, Drew.
True.
Thank you, Drew.
So, my opinion is, have I researched? I have done a DNA ancestry test. I don't really know much about my family history on my dad's side nor my mom's side. I really don't know much about anything. I've been to some family reunions, but you know, we go to the family reunions and we stick with our families. So it's like I'm not really meeting anybody. And I don't really talk to anybody afterwards. Like, I know my cousins. I've been invited out by cousins to different states. Like, come cousin, come out here. And I'm just a very, shy person. So, but I would like to know everything about me, not just like my close relatives. I would like to know everything that makes up me. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know my African parts. I want to know my European parts. I know I have a little bit of I think it's like Filipino in me. So like I want to know all of those things, and I want to be able to explore all of those things
I was gonna say I can see it in your eyes, but I
You know,
didn't want to
that
sound
ex who used to
racist.
tell me that
I
all
didn't
the
want to
time.
sound racist. I'm just saying I can see it in the eyes. So
I had an
me
ex who
too.
used to tell me that, and then I was like, whatever. And then I see the test, I was like, oh, okay.
I can see that though, all up
So
in here.
if it's
Yeah,
possible,
so I would
I
love
want
to
to just
explore all
offer a
of those
sprinkle.
aspects of me, and I would just love to be able, like you were saying, Michelle, to teach my son those things as well, and teach him himself, and to embrace every part of him, because we all are such a melting pot, and I just think it's so beautiful when people know exactly where they come from, exactly where their people have been, exactly where their people have come from. You know, it's just, and then I've been watching Game of Thrones, y'all, honey,
You in this
baby.
Game of Thrones, you talk about it
I
every week.
just finished it.
I mean, like, you,
I couldn't get
I
into
just
it.
finished
I couldn't
it.
get into it. I watched
Oh
like
my
an
God, you got it.
episode. I tried. I just couldn't.
That's all right. I'll watch it again with you, friend. Her, okay? Okay, I'll watch it.
And to kind of
Okay.
piggyback off what you was just saying, Shell, like no shade, but white people can say, "Oh, my family comes from this part of Europe, and we're from this city, and this, that, and the third." And then they can go down their lineage. They can tell you their history. They can tell you their ancestors. Unfortunately for us as black people, we got to go and get tests done and do the research our doggone self 500 years later. I mean, it's sad, but it's the harsh reality of it. But I mean, I'm here for it. I'm a big history nerd. I like learning about history. So what history is better to learn than about yourself?
So I would
Mhm.
like to offer a sprinkle on that note.
Come on,
The
Poppy.
book that I
Sprinkle
just
me,
put up.
baby. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
put the
dang.
sprinkle on it.
I
So
had to.
this book right here, and this person who did this book, Dane Calloway, very, very well known historian, Aboriginal American, and he does a lot when it comes to educating others about how to build their family tree, how to research their family history using the census records. If you feel like
My
you
sister
won't be
does
able
that.
to go very far down the rabbit hole, trust me, you don't need much. All you need to do is start with what you know
Right. Okay.
and let it unfold from there. Start with what you know. If you know your grandma's last name, original, maiden name, start from there and let it fall down the rabbit hole. Research through the census records. Go to the if you know that she was born in North Carolina, the city, go to that city. Look up the family records there because whether it's christenings, whether it's baptisms, whether it's um,
Birth certificates,
communions,
whatever.
exactly. All of those records are going to tell you the information that you need to know. They're going to tell you the name of, who it was that she was birthed to. It's going to tell you exactly where it was location wise. You're going to be able to go through and research, who owned that house. You're going to be able to get all of this information, but you have to allow yourself to fall down that rabbit hole because other than that, you can go ahead and take one of these, swab tests or whatever. But if you look at the package information, and it'll tell you in fine print, because they like to do that fine print shit. It will tell you in
They
fine
do.
print that this is only 50% accurate. And there was an expose that they did with twins, and both of them got completely different results because it's
Wow.
only 50% accurate. So you have to actually go through and, look by records. And a lot of people don't want you to access their records. They'll make you pay for it, or they'll, have you jump through loops and hoops to go ahead and do it. However, that's the work that we're here to do.
So I was gonna also piggyback off what you were just saying, Poppy. I think it's genealogy.com. If you go on there, they will actually pull up those census results
Mhm.
from years ago. Like we were, even if you start doing, like you were saying, the family tree with the first 3 or 4 generations that however far back that with your family, if you do that, 9 times out of 10, there's probably somebody else that already has
Mhm.
started a family tree and has probably added
Right.
those people to their tree, and they can connect those trees together. So that
And
way you can start figuring out who your actual family members are. Because my sister started doing that, and At first I was like, girl, you just doing too much. But then as she was getting more information and connecting more of the dots and making more things make more sense and finding out more family members, it was like very intriguing and interesting. So that's just another tip for anybody who is interested in finding and figuring out who they're related to, their family tree. Genealogy.com got you. I think it's a fee associated with it, but
Of
it's a
Yeah.
course.
lifesaver.
Dawes
Of course, they
Roll,
got to get in
Army
where they fit in.
Records.
We went when I went
Yeah.
to my family reunion out in Kentucky because that's where basically like my great grandparents are. They actually they house is on it's Billy Goat Hill. They're from what part of Kentucky? Well, I can never get that part. We went. It's like 6 hours away from here. But they have their house is actually the
Louisville.
last house on Billy Goat Hill. They have the last house left on that hill. And Jesus, what part of Kentucky was that? Not last.
The house on the hill.
Yeah.
It's Billy Goat Hill. That's what the name of the area is. And they have the last house left. And so, like, we have so my grandma's maiden name is Joyner. So we have like a Joyner family group page. So they're always putting up like different pictures of like our great grandparents or pictures of like people in the family. And they say the names of everybody who's in that picture from like back in like the 50s or 40s and things like that. They always putting up like old pictures or something. So it's kind of like I get to see like, oh, this is in my family, or these are people that I've never knew in my family. So I kind of like that we have that group page for our since we started the family reunion. They created a group page for us.
OCO Drew. I just want to see, say that I see you, OCO.
Yeah, I see you, Drew.
You know what, Drew?
Well,
Don't be interrupted
OCO
by
I want to
is
know. I
Drew
want
is
to
gonna
know
get
what
blocked
tribe-
from
tweeting.
what tribe he was a part of. That's what I want to know.
I mean, it's all good. Maybe he is because, I'm Creek and Cherokee and Blackfoot. So, I mean, there was a lot that I learned about, my family lineage, just, going down that rabbit hole, like I said. So, definitely dig in.
Now, see, that's something I really need to figure out because, I mean, not to cut you off. I mean, I'm sorry. My grandmother, it was suspected. It was never, I guess it was never confirmed or whatever. But my grandmother's true father was supposed to be like full-blood Native American.
Mm-hmm.
But none of that came up in my ancestry test.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But I don't, you know what
how
I'm saying?
accurate are
And
those
that's because they don't include that information.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think they include that.
No,
they do
they don't.
like more of like
Got
the
it.
It's only
African
it's probably like
tribes.
but it's probably like the main whatever. Like I don't think they give you everything.
But
'Cause
see,
I did-
that's
I
the
did-
problem
I did,
too. The Native Americans was the first settlers here. That should be a part of those genealogy.
Well, of course
tests.
they ain't gonna say that.
I mean,
they
more
gonna
than
add
that.
it because they took it. They
Yeah, that part. Say that.
Well, that's what
It's
I'm saying.
colonization.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said they was the first settlers
they
here.
recognize
even
them.
though
They not recognizing them as a nationality because they basically tried to
they
destroy
killed them off and
straight
took
up.
them,
Yeah.
tried to extinct
Right.
them.
They
Exactly.
Right.
want people
Exactly.
to believe that they killed off Native Americans, and really, there's a lot that goes with that. And I could go on a long time
My
about
brother's
this shit,
dad is Native
but I'm not going to
American.
take up the whole program. But there's a lot that's been given as far as misinformation about Indigenous Americans, about
Mhm.
Aboriginal Americans, American Indians. There's a lot of information that is not being shared because there's a reclassification that's happened, and it has happened continuously over years. The idea of people being classified as Negro, the idea of people being classified as Negro and then reclassified as African American, then reclassified as Black, and then reclassified as Afro American, and then reclassified as Black again. So the idea of the shuffling of identities, has created this whole conglomeration of people that don't know who the fuck they are. And so because of the fact that there was only, like, if you remember back in like the before the 1960s with the whole segregation movement and whatnot, there was whites and there were coloreds. There was no classification for
Right.
American Indians. And so they all either got, lumped into, whiteness, if they had, pale enough skin,
Mhm.
if they had Spanish lineage, they all got lumped into whiteness, or they got classified into, Negro, the Negro population, because they were melanated, like myself.
Wow.
So it's this whole shuffle that's happened. And don't get me wrong, there were some people that came over, from Africa that have African ancestry, and that's cool. But they don't include a lot of these things because all those reclassifications has created this jumble of people who now just identify as one singular thing because the world likes to run in black and white, right?
Mm-hmm.
So making room for that gray area, making room for those people that you know that have not been able to access these records, have not been able to access their own personal lineage. Why not? If they can go ahead and make money off of our blackness, then why not?
Why not? Exactly.
And we've been getting on this a long time.
You
You got
mute,
another
Yeah,
Shell.
question?
my bad.
I see.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
you
wait a
was both of us.
minute.
That was
They
a
That's why
coming
I
good
in.
said
I
question.
could go on for a while.
Shell was
So
talking, but
they're
she was
not.
on
That
mute.
question had a lot of parts that needed to be said
It
to
did.
It
it.
did.
That's
It
what that
did.
was.
I was just thinking. I was like, these questions are really like a lot more
In depth.
Conversational.
intricate than I
Yeah.
anticipated. So I'm like, we might have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe do 5 questions every week. I think that would be dope.
That's what I had said. Like we're gonna have to,
And then,
make
but
it
that
up
would mean
for
that Poppy would have to either
Poppy gotta
allow
come
us
on for
to
the next
use
3 weeks.
their questions,
or she had to come
Absolutely.
on.
or come back when we get to their
You're gonna have to
questions.
come back
I mean,
to us.
I could come back.
Okay,
Hey.
so
I
you
can
know, I
run
still
that
want to
back.
establish that before I move on with my thought process.
I could become a speaker.
You see me doing my
You know, like,
TikTok.
Right. I
Right.
say, come back.
I was doing it the other day. I was like, get it.
I could become
I'm
a
gonna
fixture.
start
I'm
doing
good
my
at that.
dancing TikToks, and I don't care who say anything about it. I'm finna be the old.
Drew said he'll have questions too.
All right.
Come on, Drew, come with the questions, boo. We got this. We need to come on. Let's.
we have to screen
Yes.
his questions first. We need them ahead of
Yes.
time.
Yes. Drew, good questions.
And
Okay.
anybody else who has questions that they would like for us
Please.
to answer, please drop them in the comments.
Yes.
Or
Please.
inbox one of us.
Comment
We
so
would
you
be
can
more than happy to
DM
use
whatever
them.
you want to do.
Right.
Just if you have questions. Okay, I have a couple more questions and then we can go ahead and wrap this up real quick. So next question. What's your favorite thing about being Black?
My favorite thing about being Black is that
melanin popping.
that melanin process. The fact that we are like our own culture, and a lot of people want to be a part of it. They try to say like they try to downplay it, but but in reality it's like you see a lot of people want our nose, want our eyes, want our lips, want our butts, want our everything. Like, so I love being Black,
Mm-hmm.
but
You had a mama moment. You was like, our lives, our lips, and everything about it.
That's the best part about being Black.
She didn't miss a beat. Get it, sir. She didn't miss a beat. Come on. She's like, yeah, my melanin is popping and everything is with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just love being Black. I know like a lot of people say like, you get the little celebrities like the Tiger Woods and people that say, oh, I'm not Black and all that stuff. Why wouldn't you want to be Black? Like, it's like because we are so supposedly the minorities, underdogs, basically, and we're so fearful and we're so strong. Like, it's no other nationality that I can see myself being because, like, I just love my mom.
You just love being
It's
Black.
it. Being Black is it.
I love it. It's everything. I don't care. We go through the struggles and everything, but we learn from our struggles. It strengthens us. We the shit.
We the bomb.
Sorry,
We
they
the
on TV.
shit.
We the bomb. Bomb.com.
Poppy, you want to answer this question?
I'm going to answer just from the perspective of just being melanated, period.
Right.
There's such a richness to our history, our culture, that we're only scratching the surface of.
Mhm.
There's so much. And I believe that My favorite part of it is how, in times when things become difficult, we are the people who will give of self to make sure that our brethren is okay. We will, show up for each other. And I think that that's, something that I cherish, is the idea that as melanated people, we show up for our people. And I hope to see more of that. I hope to see a
Yeah.
lot more of that, is us continuing to show up for each other.
I'm with you
I
on that
love
one,
that.
Yeah.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Man, that was a. I know I
That
ain't
was
supposed
deep.
to. That was dope. I
You
like
want
that.
dip?
Go ahead,
You
Miss J.
want dip? My bad, y'all. My bad. For me, being black is lit. Everything about being black, from our hair to our culture to our clothes to the music that we listen and create, the food that we make. Like, I saw a documentary a few weeks ago, maybe about a couple months ago, and it was just tracing all of the different countries and different methods that we use within our food and how we get the flavors and all these different seasonings. It just intrigues me how talented black people are.
Yeah.
And not even just the talent, it's just how, like you were just saying, Poppy, if somebody needs a shirt, we willing to take off the shirt off our back and give it to them as we walking down the street. And I just wish black people, we can come together even more and stronger as we were when we were segregated. We depended on each other. We needed each other. And especially in this day and age, even though we have integrated with other races, we still need to support each other, whether it's somebody needing a listening ear, whether it's going and shopping with somebody's black owned business, just any and everything. Black people, we are such great people, especially when we work together. So just being black for me is lit. I love the fact that my hair, I can wear it in so many different ways and it intrigues somebody when I walk past them. I love the fact that my skin
Yeah.
color, just just the radiance off my skin sometimes will just intrigue somebody, and they're stopping and asking me a million and one questions. Well, what do you mix with? And this, baby, I'm black and black. My parents is black and black. Unless I go a little bit deeper and I find out something else different, I'm just black. And I love the fact that our melanin comes in so many different shades and colors, and we just all wear it and represent it so well. So for me, just being black is lit, period, point blank. I would, like you said, so I wouldn't imagine, I don't want to be any other race, and I'm happy and proud to be my proud black self.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was reading the next.
Yes.
Come on, Annette. So I love being black. I wouldn't change nothing about it.
Nope.
So Annette's favorite thing is her strength. And that's her favorite thing about being black. Although I will say, Annette, I don't think that just comes from just you being black. I think you as a person, your personality, you're a very strong person, a very strong-minded and strong-willed person. So that's just you, so.
Oh, thanks. So.
Okay, when I grow up, I'm gonna be as feisty and as Annette. Okay,
look, come on,
she don't play with her piece.
That part.
So it was. That's it. Thank you. High on the Hog. That was the name of the documentary.
I think so. And I think it was on Netflix or Hulu, something like that. However,
okay, I hope it's on Netflix because I don't have Hulu.
I'll watch it.
But it's definitely a good. It is on Netflix, so it's definitely a good documentary to sit and watch because you don't realize how deeply rooted our ancestors were with their cooking and all of that. So I ain't gonna take up no more time.
All that stuff.
Okay, so my favorite thing about being black, cause I'm black, y'all. Biggie black, y'all. My favorite thing about being black is the resilience of black people, and I just feel like that is something that's embedded in our DNA. I don't know. It's just the resilience of it all. Like
it can't be bought.
Not at all. And then we some creative folks. Now don't get it twisted. It's some more creative people out here that does some wonderful things. But
that it comes from.
It's just something about black people. You know what I'm saying? We can make $1 out of 15 cents. We can
Hello.
make it
Time and the
holler. I
nickel.
mean,
Kindle.
we just so dope. We just so dope. We can turn a bad time into a good time. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can turn something. Look how they did the little country line dance. You know, went from the border, step to the right, and then the black folks get in.
Cupid shuffle. We got electric
Everything's so
slide.
much better. I love it. I swear, I love it. And black is so beautiful to me. It's just beautiful to me. Don't get it twisted. Other folks is beautiful too, but black is beautiful.
But don't try
We
us,
talking about black
okay?
people. We talking about black people right now. So let's
Because
Yeah,
we know
black
our
people,
ancestors
let
was
us
against
Ooh,
all
child,
these
they like
have
a
a
things.
big
show
old,
where it's just black people for one time.
chocolate
You know what I'm
piece
saying?
of something.
We're just focusing on the black people.
And not a
No,
And
chocolate.
my
they-
friend party, look, my friend party yesterday, it was this girl there. I was outside. I walked in and I was like, oh my damn. Just, I want to call her a beat, but in the most respectful way. Oh my goodness. She was so pretty. Her color, she was so chocolate. Oh my God. And then her smile clashed with the darkness and the brightness of the teeth. She was like a goddess. I'm sorry. And if somebody look at that and don't think that that's beautiful, something is wrong
Something
with
wrong with
you.
you.
She was
Hello.
amazing. I'm like, God damn, you fine, girl. I had to tell her out loud, like, you are beautiful. Just beautiful.
And it's something about, I was just about to say, something about dark skinned man. I like me a light skinned man. I like me a caramel complected man. I love all black men. Okay. Let me make that clear. But a dark skinned man, like, and he really got nice skin and nice and chiseled, and it'd be like, baby, where you come
When they be
from?
shiny, looking like they got baby oil on them, but that's just the
Yes.
shine of the melanin off the sun. Oh, yes.
Look, and I love me a caramel complected man too, cause baby girl, let me.
You like them
I
light
mean,
or dark, Poppy? Or does it matter to you?
Well, to me, it doesn't even matter. But at the same damn time, yeah, yeah. My thing in Georgia, she a chocolate little thing.
see, see, come on down to the GA, come to the peach
Yeah,
center, okay?
come get
I'm
your
just
chocolate,
saying,
Poppy.
like,
Come on.
I'm just saying, I deal in all flavors. You know, butter pecan, caramel, chocolate. Cafe au lait. You know,
Whatever.
Come
I
on.
take a
Cafe
latte.
mocha, okay?
Come on. Not
I
cafe
All of
au
just
it.
lait.
I just like to make sure it got some color on it. That's all I'm saying.
That's
That
all
part.
that matters. As long as we got a
Yeah,
little cocoa
just
nib in it.
just a little, a couple minutes in the toaster, you'll be okay. Couple minutes in the toaster.
I know. Light skin. Every time I look at him, I be like, you so light skin. I like
I
it
mean,
though.
just a little, little sear, little golden brown. It's
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
my
just
bad. I don't
put it
know what
on.
happened,
Don't forget
but
our intelligence, the
can y'all hear
pyramids
me?
in Africa, and our
Yes.
swagger
I can
that
hear.
others try to duplicate is what I love about being black. Absolutely, Drew. We
See,
are
going
very
to
intelligent people.
Africa, going to Africa is one of the trips on my bucket list. Don't ask me which country. I don't know. I haven't really deciphered which one I'm going to get. It really don't have no order. But I really want to go to Africa and just kind of vibe with the people and really feel
Yeah,
the whole
absolutely.
roots and the beats and the music and the drums and the
Yes.
dance and just the whole culture
Yes.
over there. It just excites me. Eating the food with my
Yes.
hands with the little spongy bread. I don't know what it's called, but it
Fufu.
apparently is really good.
Fufu,
Fufu. Okay,
yes,
there you
fufu.
go. Take the fufu and eat it with your hands. Like, I really want to see what it's like to be African. And it's not to like portray anything or be just to be connected with our roots, because we came over here to America. We're so Americanized. We kind of out of touch with that. Okay, well, let's go to Johannesburg. I want to see the giraffes. I want to go on a safari.
For me, I've always
Me
wanted to go to Brazil because I want to explore that side of my lineage. I want to see what it's like. What I'm told, and from what I've seen, just through documentaries, speaking to people, I've been told that their classification system when it comes to people is done by coffee colors. So if they see someone who's melanated, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, did you talk to that cafe au lait over there? Or hey, what's up with cappuccino over there? What's up with the cinnamon over there?" It's like they talk in they talk skin tone and coffee colors. So the idea that it's not so much just the idea of black versus white, but it's
It's
the
still
idea of
respected
you know
and celebrated.
noting the richness of the melanin in
Mm-hmm.
the skin. What's up with chocolate? Oh, hey, mocha, what's up? They'll speak to others that way. So I would like to go and experience that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Space.
Hey, Space. Eat, eat the fufu with your hand.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
the
they don't
African
use.
restaurant.
Yes.
Yes, they don't use
It's an African
utensils over
restaurant right
there.
around the corner from here, and they for real Africans in there cooking in the kitchen. Okay, you know, cuss you
They
out,
got the go
African.
I
heads
have
and
a Nigerian
everything.
partner who wants me to make them some fufu. I have to learn how to do it first.
You take the fufu, Drew. You take the fufu and you scoop up whatever is on your
Hmm.
plate, and that's what you use as your utensil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try it. I
And
had a
there's two
friend.
different kinds of fufu, so I'm told. There's one with pounded yam, and I can't remember what the other one is.
Ooh,
I can
that
believe it.
actually
I had
might
a
sound
friend
good.
who married a Nigerian, and I was gonna go to Nigeria with her one time, but that didn't work out. But that would have been dope. But we're not
I want to go to
like
Nigeria. I want to
that
go
right
to
now.
Lagos. I definitely want to go there.
I
I
have
do. I
someone.
just want to go to Nigeria mainly because that's where they said that 50% of my ancestry came from. It's
Oh,
fifty
there you
percent
go.
Nigerian, 25% West African. And so I was like,
Mm.
well, let's just say 75% Nigerian. But then I was like, I might be from Sudan. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got a little
Right.
Sudanese in me or something.
Senegal,
Yemenis.
Tanzania.
Senegalese or something. I don't know, but
That's
I
I
do
know
like
that
them
Yemen is a
Senegalese
different
twists.
different country
what
altogether.
I was just about to say. Get your Senegalese twist while you over there, sir. They
Man, I'm gonna go
authentic.
to Africa. They had somebody had a documentary and they got their hair braided for like $7
Yes, I
Mm.
saw that. Oh my God.
with the little.
Did you see that? Yes.
Yeah,
With
Okay.
the
I need to
micros,
go.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
micros for
They like
$7.
smaller than the micros. They like the super duper tiny ones,
Yeah, the
and that's
thread
really what I
braids.
want.
I call them thread braids because that's exactly what they look like. They look like they're just
They too little.
yeah. They look that small.
Yeah, I
I
want something like
had
that just so it can still look like hair and I can still style it. Like that's why
Hmm.
I want sister locks
like the
because I
sister
still want to
locks.
be able
Yep.
to style it. Is how I really want to style it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I
and
had some
then but I'm very
classmates go to
indecisive.
like
I like straight hair, curly hair. What
excuse
is
me.
going on with Soso? We got two more
I don't
That's just
questions.
know.
my mohawk.
Look, I had some classmates when I was younger that would go to like St. Martin or other little Jamaica, other little countries and stuff like that, and they'll come back with their hair done and braided, right?
Mm.
Well, their parents didn't know how to take it down, so you know what they ended up doing? Cutting their hair out. I'm like, why
Mm.
y'all just didn't take her to a beauty salon? But see, they don't have that connection. You went to
Right.
Africa, you wanted to be a part of the culture, but you don't know how to maintain it or take care of it or take it out.
Right.
Now you got to walk around with one of these pixie cuts.
Now you gotta walk
Bowl
around looking like body locks.
Ooh.
cut.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna just go on.
We're gonna go on to the next question
Just go to
until
the next
Soso can get
question
back
because
on.
we're running over and folks is it's ever.
That part.
So next question: does hearing the N word bother you when it's from someone of any other ethnicity, or does it bother you? Period.
So
Miss J. Oh no, let's start with Poppy because Miss J was last. Let's start with Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So for me, no. And this is leading back to what I was mentioning earlier about the whole thing about um, the reclassification of people.
Mhm.
Because of the fact that the origins of the word Negro came from the word Niji, a word used to describe Aboriginal Americans, Indigenous Americans, American Indians. No, I don't have a problem with people using the word, the N word, because, it derived from a word that we use to describe ourselves. What I have a problem with is the hard ER. Um, I have a problem with the hard ER unless somebody's really acting with a hard ER in their actions. So appropriate use of the word is really what it comes down to for me. I use it on a regular occasion because I'm a whole I'm a whole N word. Have no problem being a whole N word. Um, but my thing is like it's all about intent. It's all about the intent of use. And if somebody is using it in a way to, try to connect to others, cool, do what you do. But if somebody is using it in a way to demean another person, or damage another person, then no, I have all issue with that. So my problem is not with the word, it's with the intent.
For me, yes, I do have a problem with people of the other race using it because I feel like if you're comfortable saying it in front of me, I can only imagine what you're saying behind closed doors about an entire race. Funny story. Well, it's not really a funny story, but I don't got with a white girl pretty much all of high school. We was cool, and one day, I don't know if it slipped out or she just was so used to saying it that she just kind of kept trying to brush off. I said, no, back up. What you just say? And so I had to kind of teach her, like, that's the word of endearment. Yes, Black people, we might use it towards each other to acknowledge each other. However, don't get comfortable saying it around me because for me personally, like, I can't go and hang out with a whole group of white people and be like, oh, you crackers, da 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 da. They gonna stop and look at me like, what? So, you got to give and take a little bit. If you don't want me disrespecting you, don't disrespect me with it. Like, and honestly, I really kind of, in a way, kind of want Black people to chill out with using it a little bit. But I think we've gotten so used to using it, it's just become it has become a part of our vocabulary, I guess, in a way. So, I think in general, it needs to stop being used because it was used towards our ancestors in a very derogatory way. And so yeah, I personally don't try to use it as much. I mean, it slips out every now and again. Like I just told Poppy, you was my dude, my guy, my person, whatever. But if I'm using it in a good sense like that, and the person that I'm saying it to is not offended by it, then yes, I'm okay with it. But when somebody of the other race is saying it, no. But like even there's been times I've been at concerts and it's a white person or somebody of another race next to me, and they'll be like,
All right,
just rapping a song. If you rapping a song, okay, that's one thing. But if you're using it towards me directly to be disrespectful, that's a whole nother conversation. So I just prefer just don't use it around me.
I just want to go ahead and sprinkle in something real quick because one thing I also wanted to add to my answer is reclamation of words is a thing. So the idea of like using words like slut has been reclaimed, and made ethical. The idea of using the word, the B word, that's been reclaimed and made ethical. The idea of utilizing the word queer, that's been reclaimed and made ethical. So I think that there is a such thing as the reclamation of words and making things, ethical in use. But again, I think it all, draws back to, the intent for me is
Right.
like, what is your intent in using the word? Because words don't have, derogatory meaning. People give it derogatory meaning. So that's
Absolutely.
my sprinkle.
And see, that's my thing too. Like just depending on how you're using it. Like I ain't even gonna lie, I done sat in a concert and I purposely watched a white person to see, oh, this word finna come up, I'm finna see if they gonna say it. And they say it, but I mean, what can I do? They having fun. But if, like I said, if you're coming to me to be disrespectful with it, then we got a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
If it's just all in fun and you enjoying yourself, I mean, I don't really care, but I just prefer you not to use it around me. So what you think about the use of the N-word?
No.
I see.
Right.
Welcome back,
Drew
Sosa.
don't like it. Drew said he don't like it. The word bothers him overall.
Drew just called me one last night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
That's
just
a different
kidding.
setting. You probably was acting like one.
Oh, dang. Drew.
Drew, play stuff. No, but me, with the N-word, with other people using it, okay, I can understand, like, if you grew up in a community. I don't know if y'all said this already or not. But
But it doesn't matter. It's your opinion.
I know
So.
people who grew up in Harvey in the hood and people who grew up in different hoods where they hang out with a lot of Black people and the word has been used in front of them. And that's kind of like your behavior is learned. And the way you speak
Absolutely.
is basically how you speak, how you've been spoken to, or what you're around. So I have no people who like Mexicans and white people, and that grew up in hoods where this word was passed around and used in front of them, and they're not in a household where their parents are racist or what I'm saying. They in the
Mhm.
hood, and so they might speak and they speak a certain way, and they speak it to where that word might come out. So in that situation, it's like I can't fault you for saying the word that you basically learned as growing up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But not as a derogatory, not as a disrespect. You learned it as it being a word of endearment, basically, because that's what you
Mm-hmm.
taught. That's my dog. That's my GZA. I don't like the word being used in my house. Like when I hear my nephew them saying, and I always like, "Hey," and they be like, "Oh, sorry, auntie," because it's offensive to me sometimes. But
Mhm.
sometimes it can slip out because my mom says it, my sister says it, and so I'm around it. And sometimes it can slip out because when you hang with people, you know what I'm saying. They sometimes how they talk, like me, I found myself using cursing a lot because the people that I was hang with curse a lot. So it's like, but I don't like to be
Mhm.
in my house. My kids don't say it. They say they don't say it around me. They might say it. I'm sure they probably say
Yeah, I've had to take
it.
Jaden a couple times when he on his video games with his friends because he got these big old headphones on.
Yeah.
He be like, what you do?" I'm sorry,
Right?
mom. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, let
Yeah.
don't
So,
get too comfortable now.
so
Like
I don't like to
now,
use. I don't like to
we
use
taking
it in the
baby
house.
steps.
I don't like to use it in the house because I know the true meaning. I know we made it put it GA at the end and took off the ER to like. I think it's maybe it's a little clever to like to laugh in their face like ha ha ha. You thought you was it's in treating us or disrespecting us with this word, but now we turned this word around and we made it a love a word for our homies for our what I'm saying like so we
Right.
made what you put as bad we turned it into something good if you want to look at it that way. But as far
Mhm.
as like if somebody coming to me like, "Oh, you nigger,"
Mm.
who I said it
Mm.
on? I said it. Yeah, I said it. And so, if they come to
Eat
me and
hard. Eat hard.
Right.
right,
She put an extra on
Right.
Right. I was gonna say a hard ER.
it.
that word,
Arr.
that's
Put
different.
out her
So like,
DMX.
That part.
like Miss J
That
said,
part
that's
is
a
true.
different thing because now you coming to me being disrespectful. Now you
Mm.
purposely trying to disrespect me, and you're not just saying it like I'm your homie. You know what I'm saying? Like my homies won't even call me that because they already know I don't call me that. You can call me G, you can call me whatever else, but don't call me the N word. That's even if we're cool. So I don't get upset when I hear people that what I'm saying, they listening to our music and it says so much across from our music, like Mr. J said, they grew up in the hood and they, what I'm saying, they was raised around this word, so they have no, it's like us trying to control not saying it. You know what I'm saying? If we was raised around it and they was raised around it, how can we get mad? We don't know where they from because we see them at work. We don't know where they grew up and why, what I'm saying, they didn't say this word. So if it's not in a disrespectful form, and if I won't get too mad. But yeah, so it depends. It
So
depends on
can
the person.
can I
Okay.
ask everybody a question? If you are uncomfortable with somebody saying that word from another race, do you stop them right there and then there in their tracks to correct them, or do you just let it slide?
If
No,
I stop,
I'm correcting on site.
I'll correct them. If
I'm
they saying
correcting
it
on site.
like, cause I correct my nieces and nephews. You think I'm not gonna correct somebody else? So yeah, been corrected.
Okay.
I mean, to me, um, being trans masculine, being non-binary, and being used to having to correct others about misidentifying me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to correct on site because there's no way that random who Joe Schmo over here is going to let somebody call him Susan and not
Facts.
correct them on site. So,
Right.
Right.
if somebody is misidentifying you, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to correct them on site. I'm going to let them know, okay, I think you got the wrong person. I am Diablo. I'm going to correct them on site and let them
Just in
know,
case you didn't know,
just in case,
let me
for the
make it clear.
unfamiliar people here, just so you know, I'm Diablo.
I had
Property
somebody
is
in
about
a
that
mom's
life.
group
So, yes, I'm
in a
going to let
mom's
them
group call
know.
me a Karen.
Somebody called you a
So I'm
Karen.
in this mom's group, right? But it's
Ooh.
majority, like it's a Plainfield mom's group, so you know majority of the women are Caucasian. So I purposely put up a post because every time it snow or it's something going, somebody always put up a post like, "Is the school closing today? Are they gonna have school today?" When they know they're gonna get a phone call, an email, and a text message, right? So it was people putting up posts like, "We don't know if the school gonna close. Wait for a time to call. We don't need a post asking the school gonna close or whatever, right?" So I purposely put up, "Hey, are the schools closing today?" And I was like, "JK, I just wanted to be the first one to ask." You know what I'm saying? Like I was joking about it. So a lot of people got the joke. And so this girl said, Karen. She called me a Karen. This lady, white lady, called me a Karen.
Mm.
And so another lady replied to her and said, "It's always one." I said, "Definitely not a Karen. That's impossible." Okay,
They
Karen's
thought
a
because your name was Sophia.
but do you see my profile picture? You'll see a black woman
Mhm.
in that.
Ah,
So
well.
like, so I guess she was just so maybe she was aching to call somebody a Karen. I don't know, but you got it on the wrong post.
Mhm.
And so like for you as a white woman to call me a black
So
woman
a
a
Karen
Karen,
trying to Karen you.
Karen trying to
Got
call,
it.
yeah, trying to Karen me. So,
Mm.
Got it.
and then, so then another lady, she just laughed at it, like how you gonna call her a Karen? Like it don't even make sense. I've never been called a Karen before.
Oh,
Gavin said he wasn't coming
Well,
it's
there.
like, look, I don't know who you
well,
thought I was. Forget who you thought I was. Let me
Right.
tell you who I am.
Let me let you
Right.
know.
so I'm gonna answer your question, Miss J, at the same time as I answer my question.
Mhm.
Okay. So the N word, does it bother me when I hear it coming from someone of any other ethnicity? Similar to what everybody else was saying, it depends on how it's being said, the intent behind it. I've had, the white friends, the white homegirls. I'd be like, "Girl, you my nigga," you know what I'm saying? And it was nothing to me because that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it was nothing to me. And even, I hear it now. It doesn't really necessarily bother me. I hear a lot of Hispanic people use that word.
They
Mm-hmm.
do.
It's
Lots.
majority.
And to
Majority
be
of
honest, if anything, hearing someone Hispanic bothers me more than a white person. To be honest, because if you say call a Hispanic person black, they quick to point it out. No, I'm Puerto Rican. No, I'm this. No, I'm that. You want, you know what I'm saying? You quick to don't want to be it, but you quick to be just like it. You
That
know what
part.
I'm saying? And it's like sometimes a lot of the white people who they like, yeah, I wish I would. You know what I'm saying? They're more like apt to be, to me, feels more of like of an ally instead of a copycat. And even though people be like, oh, these
Mm.
white people are culture vultures, but you're not paying attention to a lot of these Hispanic people who are being just like you, but will just don't want to be associated with you at all.
Mm-hmm.
When people talking about, oh, black and brown, they be like, don't include that brown and brown. Them brown people don't care about you. Like how many Mexicans,
that's
fight for
why
black lives?
my
Mm.
friend just said that when I posted something about brown people, he was like, brown people don't care about you.
Right.
Don't
It's like that's
black
just
people
my
never even
opinion.
stand up for the
Although I
black.
love Hispanic people, I have no problems with anybody Hispanic. It just that's the one ethnicity to me that bothers me the most because it's like my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga, this, and that, and this. But then yet and still you don't want to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
don't want to be that, but yet and still you look just like us, but you want to completely disassociate yourself with us. I don't
And,
know. That just bothers me. That just
and see
bothers
that
me.
that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the whole, intra violence when it comes to the, melanated people fighting amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some people, like I said, who have been classified, with whiteness. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
some of those, with, Spanish, colonial heritage, they can go ahead and classify themselves as white and basically skate
Mm-hmm.
because of the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they're allowed to classify themselves as a certain, as a certain
Mm-hmm.
ethnicity, that I mean, and they're getting away with it because of the fact that, it's allowable. Do you
Right.
know on the
I,
census,
hmm?
on the census, anyone who is associated with a North African heritage can classify as white?
Mm.
Real shit.
Mm.
It doesn't matter how melanated they are.
That's
So the
crazy.
You
idea
know,
that
a
some
lot of black
people
people trying
can,
to say they white.
The idea some people can be reclassified just with the simple, check of a box.
When they realize
You
that
know.
privilege don't really apply to them, they gonna be like,
Okay. They're gonna have to go back and change it. I
And but
can't with
Yeah.
hustle.
that's the idea that they can, slip in and out of, that classification. They can have the benefits,
Right.
without the work. And, I think that that's definitely prevalent, those who can slip in and out of these identifications without the work of actually being a melanated person.
Being that person. Yeah.
I was reading a doc. I was reading actually reading about how it is separated in the Hispanic and Puerto Rican community because of the more fairer
Mhm.
skinned Latinos, Hispanics. They do feel like they have privilege, and
Mhm.
they kind of separate themselves from the more melanated Hispanics and
That's
Latinas.
and that's with any
And
culture, because that's like that in
Mhm.
the like the Arabian Indian culture.
yeah,
You have a
yeah,
lot of people like that. Any of the darker
yeah,
Indians, they are
mhm,
outcasted.
yeah,
Anywhere
from the
you
lighter
go,
Indians.
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? The darker you are
Yeah.
outcasted. Like
Yeah,
Colorism is worldwide.
yeah.
it
It
And
is.
sure
you
It
see, even
is
in
is.
in,
our
in
community,
every
that's how they had
ethnicity,
the
you
light
know.
skinned women up front, forefront in videos and in TV acting. More light skinned women had more roles in
Mhm.
acting and everything. So they put the dark skinned girls in the background. So
Yep.
it's
And it ain't even just that. Like, like, yeah, light skin, softer, more European features. Those are the
Mhm.
more prevalent. This is, oh, here's your black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, that
Mhm.
is what it is. That's not the N word. So then we're going to go to this last question because we're running out of time. Okay. So this kind of runs into the last question. And so the last question is, do you feel black people can be racist?
Black people are
So,
racist, some of them. Oh, was I supposed to answer?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
first. Go ahead.
You
Okay.
first, so you good.
Yeah, black people. I feel like some people say, "Oh, we can't be racist because of what our ancestors went through." But why do we want to be those same type of hurtful people? You know what I'm saying? I had a patient when I worked at South Suburban Hospital, and her CNA was a white girl, and it was a time when Trump was running, and she was saying that she agreed with Trump because the Hispanics, he should build that wall because the Hispanics coming over here taking our jobs and doing all this. I said, well, I still got my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they ain't take my job. So I don't understand what you're saying. So we was having a conversation about that. But then my friend who's Caucasian, she went to go and take care of her, and she kept telling her like her and another it was a black nurse and it was a white CNA, and she told the white CNA, she said, "Oh, can you get Sophia in here to help me?" And she was like, "Why?" She was like, "Because she just know how to do me." And I already knew that like she was, she didn't like nobody but basically black people. And so I went in there, she was like, I said, "What's wrong with her taking care of you?" She was like, "You just know how, what I'm saying, I want to be done because you was just in here." I said, "But she's trained just like me." But I knew, so I just told her to leave out. I already knew when I left out. I said, don't call me back in there with her because I don't want to deal with her because I don't like racist people. I don't care what color, what's your nationality. I don't think black people have the right to hate a group of people because everybody in that group did not hurt you. And the same thing as with any nationality. Even though our ancestors went through this racism with these people, don't mean that we should show that same ignorance. And we
Agreed.
don't have because because our ancestors faced it. I don't think black people should be racist. I don't like racist black people. I don't like racist white people. I don't like racist Hispanics. I don't like racist people at all because everybody did not do things to you or your ancestors. You racist today at a 15-year-old white person come in your face and you don't like them because they white because of what their ancestors did. That 15-year-old ain't do nothing to you. So why are you racist towards them because of what their ancestors did? So I just don't think that black people should have a right to be racist. I don't think nobody have a right to be racist.
Okay. Poppy.
Um, you
Why
already
you yell
know.
Poppy name like that?
Like this is I don't know if I want to answer it this way or that way.
I see, like we
So
on daytime TV. I don't know who's watching me. I gotta really worry
I,
about.
I'm figuring out how to neatly wrap this answer. Um, so my thing is this: when we look at racism, that's coming from a position of superiority. Somebody thinking that they are better than, right? somebody coming from this position of, you know, superiority, supremacy, right? We know that we live in a white supremacist type society.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that melanated people, and I say melanated people as in those who were classified as Negro, those who were classified as African American, those who were classified as Black. I don't feel that we are in the position to be racist. I feel like we are in the position to be biased, to be prejudiced. Do I feel that melanated people can be hateful? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I do not feel that we are in the position to be racist specifically. Um, the idea that there are other classifications of people, melanated or not, where we're talking about East Indian, where we're talking about those who come from, you know, Central America, South America. I feel like these people who are foreigners to this land, so to speak, um, are in the position to be racist because of the fact that there are a lot of people who come in from other countries who are given more privilege than the inhabitants of this land.
Mm-hmm.
And we were
So,
forced over here.
Right.
and you know, and not everybody was, but the ones, you know, who came over, you know, who have, you know, that foreigner's privilege, and I say foreigner's privilege because that is literally what, you know,
What it
America
is.
offers. They offer incentive for, you know, people to come over.
Mm-hmm.
They will give you assistance, they will give you land, they will pay you to come over to this space, and they treat the inhabitants like shit.
Absolutely.
So I definitely believe that the there's the how can I say, and give me a second because my neurodivergent ads. Um, there is the opportunity for those who are in a position of superiority to be racist, but as far as like the current state of uh, deeply melanated people like us, no, we're not in the position to be racist at all. We can be hateful, we can be biased, we can be prejudiced, but racist, no.
Okay.
Oh, I just want to
Um,
address David real quick. I just say, David, racism, there's no like definition of it. So however you're perceiving that question to be, then that's I'm leaving that perception up to the person. So if you have an opinion about it, please put it down there. Go ahead, Miss J.
I think Black people can be racist towards themselves. I think I've experienced it too. For a perfect example, and I could be overthinking this situation, but I felt like the lady was being racist towards me. I was checking in at the airport, and I was trying to hurry up and get my bag checked in because you know you got to have it checked in at least I think 45 minutes before your flight departs or whatever. Granted, I was running late. Cool, get it. It was like the lady was doing any and everything to work against me so that my plane or that my bag could not make it on this plane on time. The white lady comes over to help me. 2 seconds.
Hmm.
Now, granted, like I said, this is my own perception of it. She might have just been having a bad day at work. But a white lady comes and walks up right behind me. She helps her with no issues. With me, oh, the system is not working. Oh, this is happening. Oh, that's happening. You're going to have to wait a second. Somebody else has to come and help you. Why you can't help me, my sister? You see, I'm in a rush. I had Jaden with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as Black people, once again, this goes back to what we were saying earlier. We have to support each other in any and every way possible.
Mhm.
Like I said, this could have been just her having a bad day, but for me, I took it as her being racist. I've seen TV shows, and granted, these people could be paid to go on these TV shows and say these things, but to say that they hate Black people, or to say they prefer to date a white man, or to say they prefer to date outside of their race, I mean, everybody's entitled to date whoever they want to. However, I just feel like at some point we have to start being more supportive. Can Black people be racist towards other races? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not gonna put my family member out there, but I had a family member who has now, Lord rest their soul, used to tell me that white people were blue-eyed devils. And they chose not to do any business with them, chose not to be friends with them, didn't want to live by them. And so, yeah, that's a form of racism to me. So, yes, I think we can be racist in many different ways. Do I think we're as obvious with it or on the forefront as much? Not so much as another race towards us. I think we have experienced racism obviously more than any other nationality, I guess you can say, than anybody else walking this earth. But yeah, I definitely think Black people can be racist. I just don't think it is as much or as prevalent as the other races walking.
Let me say, okay, so I kind of got the question wrong. In my head, I'm thinking, should Black people be racist? Not can they be racist? Of course they can be racist. So I think I heard it wrong when I said no, Black people shouldn't be racist. I thought the question was, should Black people be racist? Because I know a lot of people saying like, I hear people say like, we got the right to be racist, you know, so we got the right to not like white people. So that's kind of where I took your question from. But yeah, white Black people, in your sense of your question, yes, Black people can be racist. So
Well, my opinion is similar to Diablo in the sense that I feel that racism is something that is really something that can be enforced when you have power behind it. A Black person can refuse to work with a white person. They can refuse to, have them in their, not have, force it in their business or whatever the case may be. But the effect of that is nothing like the effect of white people shutting out Black people. So I do feel like a lot of Black people are very prejudiced. And a lot of them have a lot of inner negative feelings. I don't want to say hatred because hate is such a strong word. Inner negative feelings about people of other races and other cultures, and a lot of it, I believe, is justifiable. Like it's justifiable for someone to look at, a certain race, especially depending on where you come from. Like, because if you think about it, like, my mom grew up with white only water fountains, Black only bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that close. You know what I'm saying? It's literally that, it's a stone's throw away, that lifestyle that we had to live. But, even in that time, even though they had the white onlys and the this and the that, you know what I'm saying? Like, a Black person refusing, and even when Black people came together and they did whatever and they excluded white folks, what did the white folks do? They came in and took it over, because it doesn't matter if we don't like it, if we don't have the power to do anything about it, then I don't feel like we can truly be racist. I feel like we can be prejudiced. We can have our opinions. We can have our preferences, and we could just choose not to, or discriminations. But I don't feel like we can be racist in a sense. I feel like racism is an institution, and if we're not in control of that institution, then we can't be that. That's just my opinion.
because when you say like racist, it's basically your race. You're you're prejudiced against. You're not like somebody. You're against other people's race, right? That's what racist mean. Like when you say Black, white, because that's why I don't like the word racist, because like we're part of nationality and not part of the race. You know what I'm saying? We're Black. We're the race of Black or white race or Mexican race. You know, like I don't like the word race, because that's just basically saying what you see in front of you. You know, kind of, and not like actually where we came from. So that's why I say like we can't, you judging somebody by their race, then my opinion is you can be.
Yeah, unfortunately, people are naturally visual, right?
Right.
I'm not, I look at you and you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, oh, look at her nationality. I bet you her nationality. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, a lot of people get offended by that. Be like, why are you worried about my nationality? You know what I'm saying? Like, Just to
Because
be
you got
people
some
are
people that
visual.
say, "Oh, I'm not black, don't call me black," but then you'll see them saying support black-owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, or people like I'm African American, or people say I'm not African American because I never lived in Africa. You know, so it's
Mhm.
like then, but you ain't black, or I'm not Mexican. You know, it's just like that whole race putting a tag on a race. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like a culture or a nationality. That's like what. Mm.
I
I
understand
don't
what you're
think there's
saying.
any like one right way to navigate
Really
melanation, quite
define it.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not really one, you know, one true way when it comes to doing that because, again, as I mentioned earlier, the whole reclassification of people. We're talking about people who have been, lumped into a category and then told, here, swim. So
Yeah.
there's not really going to be one right way when we weren't sent into the water with floaties. None of us were.
Right.
Like
That's
we didn't
true.
ask for that classification as
Right.
people.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
So having that, these names foisted upon us, what do we call ourselves? How do we navigate, you know, in our own lives, as being melanated people, like in a whole, in general, because it's like you can't tell what a person is just because they're melanated. You walk up to
exactly.
somebody who is darker than you, and they'll be like, "No, I'm not black. I'm from Nigeria,"
Yeah.
Right.
because
Right.
they
That's
have a
the
whole
thing. They're
different
gonna be
culture over
this
there.
because the race will be
Hmm.
because they're dark. Their race
Hmm.
classifies as black. You know, that's what
Right,
I'm
Right.
saying.
right.
Like, so it's saying, are you going? Can you be race? Can we be racist?
Hmm.
If we looking at race, you know, then yeah, because
Hmm.
some people do like you can get cast out from being too dark from your like I said. Look at all these.
Hmm.
You mentioned it. How you talk about one of you, I think Miss J or Michelle, when you talked about people saying like, oh, I don't want to date a black person, or I don't want to date this person because there's black men, or if you say
But is
African
that
American
is
men that
that
say they don't want
racism
to
or
date.
is that colorism?
And that's what I think
But
too
see,
is
that's the
that
thing.
what we
Is
know as
racism and
racism is
colorism the same thing?
It's
colorism
colorism.
reclassified. Yeah.
Because because racism is black, right?
Mm.
Is our race black considered? But then you talk about how light or fair your skin tone is. That's why all this is just so dumb. Like I
Mhm.
just think it's just dumb. Like this whoever thought of this whole calling people race or whatever, race black or whatever, I just think it's just dumb. Because it's not you everybody can be racist, I guess, if you're gonna go off the black,
Yeah.
white, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at David's comment.
But
Mhm.
First
a
of
nurse
all,
gave me a shot, it hurt. Now I don't like people who wear glasses.
first of all,
What?
people who wear glasses are good people. Okay, David. Let's get that straight.
Okay, so he's trying to David's proving a point
I
now.
know. I know. I'm just messing with him.
I want to take a
I'll
stab at David's question.
Which
Um,
one?
as far as the is racism and prejudice the same? Um, the racism is a form of prejudice, but all prejudice is not racism. So the idea of prejudice, the etymology of that being prejudging, how do we prejudge others? So the idea of racism being a form of prejudice, yes,
Yes.
but not all prejudice is racist,
Yes.
if that makes
And
I'm
sense.
Miss
sorry,
J, David asked you a
you
question
just read a
too.
person's spam.
Yeah, I was gonna respond to him. So it could, like I said, as far as I took it, I felt like she was being racist because it was like she had every excuse as to why she didn't want to help me. But as soon as a white lady walked up behind me, she's breaking her neck to help her. So it could have been a jealousy thing. It could have been she felt like I was more attractive than her. I really don't know. But a part of me took it as she was being racist because once again, I'm in Atlanta. I'm in the Black
Mhm.
Mecca of America. The one thing that I'm expecting when I come across another black woman in Atlanta is for us to support each other in any way that I need you to, regardless if it's checking in my bag, regardless if it's you handing me my ticket, regardless if you just telling me to have a good day. At the end of the day, be supportive, be respectful towards people. That's your job. You didn't even take the initiative or the time to stop and say, okay, let me help her figure this out. It literally took the white lady that came to help me 2 seconds to figure it out. It was because Jaden was listed under a different confirmation number than me, and because he was a minor, um, he obviously I couldn't check him in without showing proof that I was traveling with him. So I've done this whole situation before, where I've had to have him checked in with me and I've had to verify that I was traveling with him, whatever. I've had to do this before. So this whole scenario was nothing new to me. It was the fact that I was trying to get my bag on that plane before that 45-minute cutoff. And I feel like she purposely was trying to find every way, every roadblock that she could to make sure my flight or my bag did not make it on this flight. So once again, it could have been jealousy. It could have been just she was having a bad day at work, her lack of empathy with me. A lot of places I've noticed recently have had a lack of customer service. They just hiring any and everybody to fill a position. It's quality or quantity over quality. So, I mean, it could have been a multitude of different things, but for me, in my perspective, yes, I took it as racism.
Yeah, and today
We have to
like you said, talk about the difference between racism and prejudice is true. Like racism goes off like the film, like I said, of like how you the color or whatever. Prejudice can be just of anything, just a prejudgment of anything, of anybody. You know, you can be prejudiced. Just it's a definitely a difference. It's like you're prejudging somebody, and racism. It's kind of like racism. You're prejudging somebody too, but you know why you're prejudging that person, like because the reason why is because of the race, their race, color of their skin. And prejudice is basically you can be prejudiced against basically anything or anybody. Like you just don't want to. I can say I'm prejudiced against cats. I don't like cats. I can't stand cats. Don't bring a cat around me. You know,
Girl, I
the cat
can't
might be
either.
the most prettiest cat in the world, but I don't want to deal with the cat. So you know what I'm saying? So like you can be prejudiced towards like anything or anybody, and so it's definitely a difference.
I just wanted to read Gloria's comments real quick. She's got a lot of nice.
Does she spam? Because she's talking about a lot of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with Planned Parenthood and four color ministers and.
She said, "Is whitey to blame for Black mothers gleefully contracting with Planned Parenthood to have them burned for 20 pieces and sold piecemeal? Sure, why not? Okay." Planned Parenthood promotes abortion relentlessly among Blacks. 80% of Planned Parenthood.
I didn't read all that. I was just she was just putting stuff up on.
I don't know. Mills are located in the city areas with Black populations above 50%. I've heard this before too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
We
you
should
can
hire.
tell.
I didn't read all the comments you made. I just saw.
I mean, that's even like those them blood banks. What are they called? Where you go and sell
The
your
cord
plasma,
blood.
the
Yeah,
plasma.
and even like the things that they advertise to young parents about banking the kids' cord blood and stem cell research and whatnot. Yeah, all of that goes in together. And what Gloria is saying, as far as Margaret Sanger, I mean, we're talking eugenics. Eugenics
You're
is
right.
definitely one of the it's been a detriment to people of melanation. I'm going to say it like that. Eugenics is definitely one of those things that takes us out, and a lot of people don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that medical research that's being done on the under. What was it? Henrietta Lacks. If you get an opportunity, look up Henrietta Lacks.
Yes.
Like that research there, and that was done unbeknownst to her family after she was diagnosed with cancer. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with the melanated population that the medical community in itself hides.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
Sorry.
there's a lot of things that both Tyrone and Gloria are dropping in the chat, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole conversation we could have for a whole nother day.
I
trust me.
mean, we could bring that up next week too with the Black love. I mean, Black love, and that goes with families, because that's what we're discussing next week. We're talking about Black love and Black marriages. So, I mean,
oh boy,
next week
we could throw in a little bit of information. But I don't know. I need to investigate this Maya Angelou things, because I love Maya.
I know this is hurting my feelings right now. I don't really...
Right, and I'm not going to let somebody say something about
her name and her
mental
like
mentor.
that.
You know what I'm saying? The
right.
woman who helped shape my love for poetry and literature. If it wasn't for Maya Angelou, a lot of things I think in my life would be different. So I really have to,
Yeah, I'm gonna research that stuff.
Hey, Drew, you better come back for some of this black love, and you better have a
So
question
next
or
week,
two ready for us next week.
are we continuing questions next week?
No, that was 5 questions. So yeah, we can continue them next week because we do not have time to do more questions because we've already been on here 2 hours, and we will return into Monday day talk. Literally,
exactly.
Monday all day talk.
All day talk. So yeah, so we're gonna definitely continue the questions next week. We can run through them just a little bit faster, so that way we can get into the black love maybe, and maybe my system won't cut me out, shut me out. I be having technical issues every week, but whatever. That's personal. But but anyway, yeah, we definitely appreciate everybody who has joined in on the conversations. We got a lot of good knowledge. Always, always grateful for the lovely Poppy Diablo. Like we love
Poppy be coming in dropping them facts.
Yes,
That part.
definitely.
Yes.
You definitely have to come back because we definitely have to finish this. Thank you, Annette. We love
Yes,
you
Annette.
too.
We love that
Thank
you
you,
were
Annette,
here.
for tuning in and engaging.
Yes, please come back.
Hey, Poppy, can you drop the name of that book? Sorry, so can you drop the name of that book?
I was going to ask her that.
And then this is Tracing Your Family's Genealogical History by Records. It's done by Dane Calloway. If you look him up on YouTube, he has a lot of information. He's a well-known historian, so definitely look him up.
Dane, I wrote down the name. I just needed the name, the Dane, Dane, right?
Yeah, Dane.
Calloway.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I'll look it up and then,
Yeah, and he has another book out as well. It's about the Black heroes that have been talked about throughout our history. Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, stuff like that. So yeah, he has a lot of information.
Okay. Drew, what you confused about, boo?
Right.
I'm like, we all like, what do you mean?
Hello,
we're confused.
Hello, what?
Hello, what?
Goodbye.
I'm trying to think of what you're talking about. If you all have any other comments about this episode, or any questions that you all want us to ask about being Black or Black history or anything else.
Because he was there. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew. Sorry, Drew. Thank you, Annette, for
Annette had to clarify for us.
Yes. Thank you, Annette. See, that's why we need you, Angel. See, y'all see why she my angel.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right, Drew.
My angel.
It's all right, Drew. We see you.
We love you.
We love and appreciate you, Drew.
You've been tuning in, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you
Drew. So much. We did not forget about you. We can't forget about you. So
yes, bring your Mandingo Navajo self next week.
So, we love your culture, your Mandingo versus your Navajo. Along with your Navajo. Okay.
Mandingo.
Mandingo. And with a little bit of Navajo. What is the Navajo? That's what you said.
Navajo tribe. I'm from the Slapaho tribe, okay?
Yes,
I'm from the Ho-Ho tribe.
Don't be looking shy, Drew.
I'm from the Ho-Ho tribe.
So thank you.
We just relaying the message.
We just the messenger, baby.
So tune in again next
week. Big ups to all.
Yes.
Same time, 10:30. We're going to continue this topic. We're going to have more questions. We're going to talk about some Black love and, love in the Black community. And also, if you all have questions, like I said, please put them in the comments or inbox us with them. Also, continue to follow us on Facebook, but also follow us on our YouTube page, which is Monday Morning Talk. Please follow our YouTube page. And also go on to iHeartRadio and follow us and just watch every episode on iHeartRadio. If you haven't, watch them and, then hit watch or whatever so we can get our views up on iHeartRadio. Thank y'all again.
Wait, you can watch it on iHeart or you can listen on iHeart?
You can listen to it. I'm sorry, listening to it on
I was like, wait, hold on. When did iHeart do that? Okay.
No. It's audio. My bad. Thank you.
And how can they find us on iHeart?
Monday Morning Talks. Type it in. Monday Morning Talks.
And David, I did see your comment, so I'll be waiting for you to reach out to me so we can talk about that agent.
Oh yeah, we
please,
saw
and
that,
thank you.
David. Sorry. Thank you, David, too, for joining in. And Gloria.
Yes,
and
thank you,
David.
everybody.
I don't want to miss nobody. Space, I saw you saying hello.
I will, Angel. I'm gonna send it to you in a sec.
So thank you guys again, and we will see you all next week. Have a great week. Be blessed. And
Happy Black History Month,
Super
even though we
Bowl.
celebrated 365. Rain.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
Black
yes.
365.
And
Melanin
those
and magic all
Cincinnati
year.
Bengals, we hope you win the Super Bowl. All right,
Happy
I had to put
Melanin
I had to
Month.
put that in there.
And make sure y'all get all your Valentine's Day gifts for all your booze that you got.
Yeah,
Valentine's
before we
Day is
dump
next
you on
week.
Valentine's
And if
Day.
anybody want to be
Not
my
yet.
boo just for Valentine's Day only, because I'm not looking for nothing serious. So you
Where
need
my
a
Valentine
Day
at?
boo that you want to buy somebody something.
My
And you
Valentine
ain't got
20
nobody to
minutes
buy
away.
nothing for. I take chocolates, flowers, caramel.
I take Cash App,
Valentine,
Venmo,
are you online?
Zelle.
Yeah, I
Uh,
take Cash App
I
too.
take diamonds. I take it all. Okay.
Zelle, all
You need a
kinds of
one-time-
payments.
You need a one day date.
Where
There
my
I go.
Valentine at? Where
There
you
I
at,
go.
Drew, you-
Valentine?
Drew, you bringing the love for all of us next week?
Here I go.
Don't get quiet on us now, Drew.
So I'm open to anybody's Valentine's Day's date, but that's just that day. All right.
All right.
Oh, there go my Valentine. I know that's right, boo. You better raise that
I
hand.
don't need no
Right.
more
So you
Valentines.
need to
My
raise-
partners will already get on me. So
What you say? Your box is full, Diablo.
I'm saying. I don't
You
need
gotta
no
be in
more
the Chicago
Valentines.
area. I ain't traveling that far unless you just want to send Zelle and the Cash App, and so I can take myself out on a date. That's cool.
All right.
But anyway, all right. So join us again next week. Thank y'all again, and we're out. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. No, we gotta keep waving until it ends.